How does Flask use the WSGI specification for app creation? Imagine building a bridge that connects to different worlds so they can talk smoothly. That's what Flask does with the Web Server Gateway Interface, or WSGI for short. Flask creates a special kind of object called a WSGI application. When you make a Flask app by writing app is equal to Flask name, this app becomes a WSGI application. It's like giving your app a universal translator so it can understand and talk to any web server that also follows WSGI rules. When someone visits your website, their browser sends an HTTP request. The web server receives this request and turns it into a WSGI environment. Then it calls your Flask app, passing in this environment and a function called startResponse. Your Flask app reads the environment, figures out what the user wants, and then calls the startResponse function with the status and headers. After that, it creates a response body, like an HTML page or JSON data, and sends it back through the server to the user. Flask's built-in development server uses WSGI to run your app locally. But for real-world use, most developers prefer more powerful servers like Gunicorn or WSGI. These servers load your Flask app as a WSGI application, often through a separate file called WSGI. This file imports your app and exposes it as a variable named app. The server then uses this variable to handle multiple requests at once, making your app faster and more reliable. Creating a WSGI entry point is simple. You just write a small file that imports your Flask app and makes it available as app. For example, if your Flask app is in a file called myapp, your WSGI would look like this, from myapp import app. This setup allows the server to know exactly where to find your application. Because Flask apps are WSGI applications, they work seamlessly with databases, APIs, and other backend tools. WSGI acts like a universal handshake, making sure your app and the server communicate clearly. This setup makes deploying your Flask application straightforward, whether you're testing locally or running in a production environment. In short, Flask uses the WSGI specification by turning your app into a WSGI-compliant object that acts as a bridge between web servers and your code. This design keeps things flexible, letting your Flask app run smoothly on many different servers and making it easy to scale your backend projects.